The 2020 NFL draft class is 1 year into their careers, and some are off to some very impressive starts. Last week we did picks 32 through 17 to go more in depth with each pick, as squeezing 32 picks into one 11 to 12 minute video is not only difficult, but not much room to talk about each player. So in today's video we are discussing picks 16 through 1 in reverse order, and if a player has a bad draft grade, please remember, they are only 1 year in, and they can change that moving forward. A player's rookie year, most of the time, does not define their entire career. So with that being addressed, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, as each only take a second to do and it would be very much appreciated. Now let's begin. And we start today's video with the 16th pick, which was when the Falcons selected AJ Terrell, a corner out of Clemson. AJ had an up and down rookie year with surprisingly a lot of ups compared to other rookie corners. He finished the year with a PFF grade of 60.8, which classifies as average, and while that may be disappointing for some first round rookies, this is a terrific grade for a corner, and more specifically for Terrell. He was graded as the best rookie corner, and that is extremely encouraging for Falcons fans and the Falcon organization moving forward. Corner is the toughest position to learn at the NFL level, and to be average in a season with a worldwide pandemic and no preseason is a great grade for a corner, and there's a lot to look forward to in the future for AJ. A year later, this pick gets an A-. Judy was pick 15, and he was one of the big receivers in the draft, the other two of course being former Alabama teammate Henry Ruggs and current Cowboys CeeDee Lamb. Judy had a good rookie season given what him and the Broncos had to go through. He finished the year with a 52, 856, and 3 stat line, and the reason why that's good is he had to deal with Drew Lock as his quarterback, who isn't very good, and then for a full game had all of his quarterbacks out due to COVID. So in reality, he had a full game taken away from him that he could contribute to statistically, and had subpar quarterback play, as Drew Lock finished dead last in completion percentage and finished third in interception percentage, behind only Carson Wentz, who was benched, and Nick Mullins, who is a career backup. So Judy was productive given the situation, and he made the most out of it. He looks great, and through a year this pick is an A-. 14 was Tristan Wirfs to the Bucks, who was an offensive tackle. He had a phenomenal rookie season, and to a lot of people, it was kind of a surprise he fell as far as he did in the draft. Wirfs had 698 snaps logged on the year, with only 1 sack allowed. To say this is impressive for a rookie, or really any player, is an understatement, and this cannot be stressed enough, but with the pandemic and no preseason, players' years are going to be different, and that's all there is to it. And for Tristan to come in and dominate the way he did is 150% worth the first round pick, and this is an A+ 1 year later. 13 was Javon Kinlow to the 49ers, who acquired this pick for the Colts from a trade with DeForest Buckner. Without a doubt, Kinlaw's biggest play as a rookie was a pick 6 against the Rams in what was an upset win for the Niners. He was also named to the All-Rookie team for the Pro Football Writers of America, and finished his year with 3 tackles for a loss, 4 quarterback hits, and 33 combined tackles, which isn't great, and what Kinlow needs to work on in year number 2 is consistency. He definitely showed flashes that would make him an A grade pick, but he also showed some flashes that would make him a D or a D+ pick. He finished the year with 1.5 sacks, and I do expect him to pick it up next year, with teammate Nick Bosa there to alleviate some of the pressure and give the opposing offensive line something else to worry about. But Javon's grade through 1 year is a C+. Pick 12 was Henry Ruggs to the Raiders, who had a disappointing rookie season compared to other fellow rookies. He finished his year with just 26 catches and 452 yards, and received just 43 targets in the 13 games he played. Now this pick has a lot of potential, but it was pretty disappointing for where he was selected, how other rookies did, and how little he got the ball. Some of that without a doubt is on coaching, as no matter what, you can scheme the ball to players if they can't get open, especially with the creativity offenses show in today's game. I was really hoping Ruggs would have finished with 50 or 60 catches and 800 yards and 6 to 7 touchdowns prior to the year starting, but it was far from that. Ruggs needs to improve in year 2, and the coaches definitely need to feed him the ball more moving forward. But through 1 year, this grade is, and I cannot stress this enough how much Ruggs can improve it, but 1 year in, it is a C-. Pick 11 was Mekhi Becton to the Jets, who was a bit of a risk given his very low floor but astronomically high ceiling. He had a pretty solid PFF grade, and the Jets were criticized for drafting him over Wirfs. While in hindsight Wirfs is better than Becton through 1 year, both are great players and there is no doubt about it. The Jets are often a very scrutinized organization, and I mean sometimes they do it to themselves, but this pick was a home run and they have their left tackle of the future. I would love nothing more than them to get Penny Sewell one way or another, and have 2 elite tackles for the next decade. And when you find a tackle for your next decade, this pick is a year later an A+. 10 was another tackle, as it was Jedrick Wills to the Browns. Wills had a solid rookie season, as he had 4% of snaps with pressure allowed as a rookie, which is very good to say the least. Meaning for every 100 snaps he's giving up just 4 pressures, and pressures do not always translate to sacks. Not only that, but he made the transition from left tackle to right tackle in camp, and that is much easier said than done. Real football isn't Madden where we can say, okay, let's just move him over and boom, problem solved. It's not that simple, and Jedrick made it a lot easier than it looked. And while he isn't the player Wirfs is, he isn't far behind either, an A- grade 1 year later. Pick 9 was a corner to the Jags, and it was CJ Henderson out of Florida. CJ played in 8 games in 2020 due to a groin injury, but in those 8 games, he did show some promise. Now, don't get me wrong, he did have some rookie moments like all rookie corners do, and this grade is tricky because we're going on 8 games, and while the easy thing for me to say would be to cop out and say invalid, well, it's not. But what I will say is I love the future he has in Jacksonville, and through 1 year, it is a B with serious potential to get a lot higher. Number 8 was Isiah Simmons to the Cardinals, and this is a player that has an extremely high ceiling, but was not used much in his rookie year. He had just 4 games where he played over 50% of the snaps, and still made the Pro Football Writers of America All-Rookie First Team. He's a 6'4", 240-pound defensive player that can do it all when given the opportunity. He is a lot of people's breakout candidate for 2021, and understandably so, given everything there is to be excited about. Through 1 year, this grade is a C+, but with the potential to get as high as he wants it to be. 7 was Derrick Brown to the Panthers, who desperately needed a defensive tackle after giving up 31 rushing touchdowns in 2019. Derrick was great in his rookie year, as he was consistently in the top 2, and often not 2 I'll add, and rookies for total pressures. There were a lot of times in 2020 when he looked like he would be the next star of the Panthers defense, but like most rookies, there were times he didn't play great either. 2 sacks does not do justice, because he would often make opposing quarterbacks either run out of the pocket or just disrupt the play and force them to make a play by stepping up and away from him, and sometimes that is more valuable than a sack. He has a very good ceiling, but for year 1 this is a B grade. This is the shortest segment of today's video, as 6 was Justin Herbert to the Chargers, and him and Justin Jefferson have been all the talk for who will win the Rookie of the Year award. Herbert finished his rookie year with 36 total touchdowns and broke the record for rookie passing touchdowns. This is, like I said, the shortest segment, but it's because of how good he has been through 1 year and how much he proved the critics wrong. A+ pick for the Chargers. 5 was Tua Tagovailoa of the Dolphins, and this is an interesting pick to grade a year later for a few reasons. He finished his year with 11 passing touchdowns to 5 interceptions, but oftentimes did not play good, and veteran Ryan Fitzpatrick would come in and play for him, which isn't a good sign. Tua was a very highly rated draft prospect, and there is a lot to look forward to in the future. Hopefully the Dolphins get him a wide receiver this year like Jamar Chase, for example, but through 1 year this grade is a C. 4 was Andrew Thomas to the Giants, a tackle, which was a bit of a surprise given the other tackles that were available. He allowed the most pressures in the NFL with 57, and was the most by a considerable amount. Even with that being said, he did improve in the second half of 2020 to become around a league average tackle, which does show some sign for improvement heading into 2021. Even with the improvement though, giving up the most pressures in the league is a lot, and because of that, through 1 year, this pick is a D+. 3 was Jeff Okudah to the Lions, who had a rough transition to the NFL. He was a highly touted corner, but in his rookie year was graded 117th out of 124 total corners, according to PFF. He forced just 2 incompletions all year, and gave up the most yards out of any corner who played more than 200 snaps, which is concerning to say the least. But there was a lot working against Jeff entering the year like a worldwide pandemic, and having to go play against elite receiver after elite receiver. He can rebound, but given he was drafted at number 3 overall and was a bottom 10 graded corner, this pick 1 year in, and remember he can change it, but it is an F through 1 year. 2 is all-world defensive end Chase Young to the Washington football team. Normally when a player is hyped up as much as Chase Young is and was throughout the draft process, the hype is not real because those expectations are incredibly lofty for even the best players. But through 1 year, Young has played great and lived up to those expectations. He had 4 forced fumbles as a rookie, 3 fumble recoveries including a defensive touchdown, and 12 quarterback hits. He will probably win the Defensive Rookie of the Year award, sorry Panthers fans, and will be a player on the football team for the next decade, if not longer. A+ pick for the football team. And one was Joe Burrow, of course, who had his rookie year prematurely ended because of a torn ACL and MCL. He finished his year with 13 passing touchdowns, but was on pace for a 21 touchdown to 8 interception season with another 5 on the ground. All in all, this was a successful rookie year because of the offensive line, or should I say lack of, he was working with. There were countless videos of him getting battered around earlier in the year, and he definitely took a beating because of it. This is a very tough pick to grade, but what I will say is it does look like the Bengals have their guy moving forward, and that is what's expected when it comes to a #1 pick. Now, it's not fair for Burrow to have the same grade as Justin Herbert because of how dominant Herbert was, but it's not like Burrow is bad and the Bengals are doomed either. This grade 1 year later gets an A. And with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments, whether you agree, disagree, or whatever. Just let me know. Please like the video and subscribe if you're still watching. Each only take a second to do, and it would be very much appreciated. See you guys next time. Love you guys. Deuces. Peace.